Fantastic energy, health, peace, tranquility. Today you're going to learn how to have even more patience when just things don't seem like they're going your way. I'd like to start out with a story of a man who once upon a time would get upset at anything. He had very little patience with other people, with himself, with situations, and with what people would say or do. And the littlest thing could get him upset, whether it was waiting in line or something that didn't go exactly as he had imagined it would be. And by doing these things that I'm going to be sharing with you, he was able to massively increase his patience, his equanimity. And then he went on to actually teach these things to other people. And now people all around the world have benefited from these same methods on how to have patience, even when things don't seem like they're going exactly your way. And you may already have realized or identified who this man is, and that's me. So I'm excited to share them with you because if they've worked for me from where I was and have helped students benefit from them, I'm really confident that by applying them, you're going to be able to have a lot more patience in your life. And the benefits are phenomenal. When we talk about patience, usually it comes down to three things. Things not going exactly as we had imagined they would go or be, and people not doing what we wanted them to do, and then things just taking longer than we had hoped. Maybe a delay or having to go wait in a line that's a lot longer than we had anticipated. I'm going to share with you now the secrets that I use and that I teach and that have worked for students so that hopefully you can benefit from them too. Number one is prioritize based on truly what's the most important. And how I do that is I ask myself every day, I say, what is going to give the biggest benefit and then also avoid the biggest issue or risk that's the easiest and fastest to do. And then I prioritize the top couple of things and I keep space in there in my schedule for extra time. Because that way when things now outside of our personal control, so to speak, maybe they require a little bit more time, or you meet someone who you haven't seen in years, as happened to me a couple of days ago, we can be completely present and really enjoy those moments that could be wonderful times, or maybe things that just require a little bit more time in order to complete. And we can do all of that with an incredible amount of presence, equanimity, and patience because we focus on the most important things, so we don't have tons of things to look at. And most often by doing those, we're actually going to get those done. And we've allowed in our schedule for the day some extra time to allot for new things or surprises. Number two is adopt the mindset of enjoying the process, not just the result. When I used to be really impatient and really stressed, I was focusing on milestones and focusing on those to, quote, be happy. When I shifted that mindset and I focused on enjoying the process, enjoying every single moment, and that's really all we have, right? When we think about the past, that's just some neural connections that we have that are recreating some type of events that are really filtered based on our memory that don't even truly exist in this dimension or this reality. And then when we think about the future, well, all that is a similar type of concept that we're recreating in our mind that doesn't even exist either. The only thing we have is this precise moment that we're sharing together right now. So by focusing on asking, how can I enjoy this even more right now, we're going to be able to identify all types of things. And by doing so, we're going to be happier, have more equanimity, have more presence and joy right now. And by doing that, that's going to ideally eliminate this issue of being impatient. Because impatience is really saying, I want this whatever it was in the future now. However, if we're already feeling good, we're going to ideally be able to eliminate that, or at least reduce it a lot. Ideally, really significantly. Number three, breathe. I used to not even think about breathing, and when I started to place my attention on my breath, I noticed that I would breathe just a little bit, like really, really shallow. Now that my attention is even more on breathing and the importance of it to fill our body with oxygen and life and allow all of our mitochondria in our cells to operate on full blast, I consciously say to myself, Eric, breathe. Breathe in for 5. Breathe out for 5. And I share this with other people, and I notice that everyone who does it suddenly feels even better. And with regards to being impatient, if we have something that's taking or requiring a little bit more time, and we decide to use that moment to actually breathe and become even healthier, more full of vitality, we can be thankful that it took a little longer so we can do that. So what I encourage you to do right now, and then throughout the day, whenever you're in line or you're waiting, or even if something doesn't go exactly as you imagined initially, is breathe in for 5, breathe out for 5 times. This alone will make a fantastic impact in your patience as well as your overall quality of health. Number 4 is adopt the mindset that success is doing the best one can every single day instead of getting certain results. I used to have the mentality that I was successful when I got a certain result. Do you know how much stress, do you know how impatient I was at that point to get that result? And the interesting thing about it is that by being so impatient, I was in a sense communicating to the universe that I wasn't successful now and that I needed to have something that I didn't have now. So I was basically affirming that it would always be in front of me or always be a distance from me, and that's kind of how my life was. So to have the law of attraction work even better for you and to help massively increase one's patience is create a new standard of success for yourself, like I did. You are absolutely 100% successful when you do the best you can every single day. And ideally, ask yourself, what can you improve? And then tomorrow, improve from whatever you did yesterday. And whatever results you got yesterday are fantastic whenever you do the best you can based on whatever circumstances are going on around you. So you're not comparing yourself to anyone. You don't need to be pressured to do better than anyone else. All you do is do the best you can based on whatever's going on. And maybe you can even relax. Just relax. And just start feeling even better with even more patience for yourself and other people now that you don't need to do better. You don't need to compete. You don't need to have something that someone else has now. Do the best you can. And what you're actually going to find out is by doing this, what makes a lot faster and easier progress than ever before, which is a very nice added benefit. Number 5 is to increase your personal flexibility. A lot of the reasons why I was impatient with others was because I had a really rigid mindset. Well, someone has to arrive at 2 p.m. or I have to have lunch at this hour, or I have to go to the gym at this hour, I have to do these exercises. So that if somebody was on the exercise machine I wanted to use, then that threw off my whole structure of my day. I hope you're laughing at that because I am now, but that used to be me. And by having a really rigid structure, what happens is that the only constant today in this rapidly changing world is that things are going to change. So if we have a rigid structure, that's going to mean that we're basically assuring ourselves that we're going to be impatient, we're going to be kind of stressed about what's going on because things are always going to change. So I have the mindset now of flexibility, that I have some core things that are important for me to accomplish every day, yet at the same time I'm really flexible at how to accomplish them. And if there's any variance in one day, I can be flexible and go to the next day. And to get there though, what I did was I started making little things. I made it a habit to be flexible. For example, if I always would go a certain way in the grocery store, I would go a different way. If I would always have something for lunch, maybe I would get one thing different on it. So what I would do is start conditioning myself to actually enjoy doing things a little bit differently. And I started to grow into having basically the habit of flexibility. And when we have flexibility for ourselves, we're going to be a lot more flexible for other people and situations. And this whole idea of impatience, which is, no, I want it now, or it didn't turn out the way I wanted, I need it now, really becomes a lot less, or ideally is eliminated. Okay. Number 6 is understand the paradox of impatience, or of the law of attraction too. I talked a little bit in a prior number about the law of attraction, really specifically. The paradox of impatience and the law of attraction is that when one is impatient, basically what one is affirming to the universe is that one does not have what one desires and one wants it now. That message, what it's doing is it's saying to the universe that you don't have what you want. So what one needs to do is understand, well, the way the universe works is that the more we believe we have what we desire, not just mentally, but physically, emotionally, that we're experiencing it now, and when that belief basically becomes stronger than the way we think about everything that's going on right now, that's when the universe will make it happen like that. So by understanding this, what we can do is basically, instead of being impatient for something that we want or something that we desire, start experiencing having it now. Well, I'm impatient for my Ferrari as an example. Not that that's anything that's really important to me. I'll give an example more dear to my heart. Okay, I'm impatient, let's say, for having 1 million subscribers, which I'm not really impatient. That is, though, a desire for me, or 1 million plus subscribers or followers, so that we can impact more people positively. So what I need to do is experience now those 1 million people, and having a video go up and having it impact so many positive people, have this of comments and of thumbs up. Experience it now. And how I would feel fantastic. I already feel fantastic, so I'm already doing this a lot. I could even feel even more fantastic, even more jumping for joy, because it's having such a fantastic positive impact. And when I'm doing that, and it suddenly, my experience of what I'm desiring out there is so great now, then the law of attraction is going to make it happen so much faster. So what's interesting is I'm sharing that with you, and I'm identifying, oh, this is something that I can do even better, which I hope that's also stimulating you to do the same thing for yourself with regards to things that maybe one is impatient about. Number 7 is identify a mission greater than ourselves. I used to be really impatient for things for me. And now, because I've practiced expanding my vision for things that I want to accomplish that are going to make the world a better place, this impatience is significantly decreased, or in most cases it's eliminated. So instead of having a mission or a desire just for oneself, ask oneself, how can what I'm doing positively impact the world? Maybe people's health, maybe people's vitality, maybe people's who have diseases or pain, or improve their lives, or the list goes on, right? What's very interesting is when you look at the wealthiest people in the world, for example, Bill Gates or Warren Buffett, they're turning their focus to help positively impact other people, because that's one of the most rewarding things for oneself. And when we're focused on this greater mission, one's not really impatient to have it accomplished. One feels this connection with this infinite positive energy in the universe, like one's part of something greater than oneself. And by contributing to it, one feels this inner joy, this peace. And at the same time, as long as it's some kind of vehicle that you can include some of your personal desires, you can accomplish both with an incredibly greater, or ideally infinite, amount of patience, while you're also contributing to make the world a better place. And number 8 is love, don't judge. Yesterday, an individual said to me that they don't like being around critical people. And I mentioned to them, I said, well, if somebody is critical, then what they're saying is that they need a little bit more love, so we can send them that energy of love. And the same concept holds true. When we're impatient about things that maybe we don't like in other people, or other things that are not going our way, a lot of times it's a reflection of how we're critical of ourselves. I was really critical of myself and the things I was doing, and then I would look at other people and find all of those faults, and I'd be critical of them, whether things that people were doing or circumstances. So what we can do is we can start out just practicing and realizing that if something isn't going maybe the way we initially intended, or somebody isn't doing something that maybe we initially wanted, what we can do is understand that maybe they just need a little bit more positive energy. We can basically expand our compassion. We can also look at things in this love not judge is maybe something doesn't go initially as we intended. What we can do is love that experience, and what we'll often find in either now or with retrospect and hindsight, which is always 2020, is that maybe whatever didn't go initially as we intended actually opened a door for a much greater success. Either something that we've learned, we've grown, which is infinitely positive, or it allowed us to grow and to basically see things in a new way that we can positively impact other people, or it created a new opportunity that one can actually fantastically leverage. My desire is that these were helpful for you, and if so, and if applying these has helped you in even the tiniest amount, so that you can have more patience even when things aren't going initially as one thinks or wants, then give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel, activate notifications, and any questions, you can write them in the comments below. I send you fantastic energy, love, tranquility, and peace.